Hello and welcome to Hairdressing Live. Today I'm going to be performing the Super Slick. I'm Paul Davey from Davey. What we are going to do is prep the hair with a little bit of hairspray beforehand. I've actually started because I know we usually start things from scratch, but this is freshly washed hair. And what I just did one section through the bottom where I've tongued the hair up. Now there's two ways you can do this, okay? We're using gel to actually, smooth out all this area and create a nice little design through the top areas, okay? So it's going to be really, really slick through the top and with a nice little brushed out wave. Now the wave is going all in the same direction. This is used on catwalks, on editorial, but mainly, you know what, it's a salon. I wouldn't say you're going to be asked for this loads in the salon, but it's something that you could advise, for somebody a little bit, wanting something a bit cooler, doing something for the red carpet, somebody going to an event as such. This is very much applicable to you at home. You could also put it up, and I'll show you an option if we have time, because this class is going to last for about 25 minutes. Usually our classes are about 1 hour and a half, but we just want to give you a few little tasters of what we do here. But this is more to do with styling, quick styling. So for you on the salon floor at home, it's actually great for you to sort of offer these exciting little techniques. So I'm going to show you my technique. We've got a tint bowl and a brush, okay? And what we're going to use is a glue in the L'Oreal. This is absolutely incredible product. It just goes rock hard. To apply it through, and it creates the shape, but it actually dries really, really nicely, So something like that, we're going to be using that shortly, okay? So first and foremost, right, so I brushed the hair through, and then I used a little bit of Crepage de Chignon. This is in the Techniart range. So sprayed the whole hair and brushed it. Sprayed the whole hair and brushed it. What that does, it gives me a little bit of residue to play with in the hair and gives the hair a little bit of grip. But predominantly, I've put on freshly washed hair and I'm going to tint the top areas. But before I do that, so what you need to do first is actually tongue. So the reason why I did a couple of the tongues, because I don't want to spend ages doing this. I'd rather show you more in the other technique. So where I am now, I'm taking a horizontal section and let's just move Cloda to the side. So from the top of the ear to the top of the ear there now. And I'm going to work very sort of, you don't have to be too neat with this. So parallel to the hair. Parallel to the side of the head, the back of the head even. And this is just going to be a soft brushed out wave. Now the wave is going all in the same direction. So again, if any of you tongue hair, it looks easy enough, but there's so many different ways of doing tongues. I just want to, if this was quite curly hair, I'd maybe, I wouldn't want it. It's just Cloda's hair is quite straight, so it will brush out quite a lot. So if this was curly hair, I'd distribute it a little bit further apart. Can you see that? The way it's actually separated between the two. But I'm going to come a bit narrower, and the narrower you go together, the more of a coil you will create. So if somebody said to you they wanted like a bouncy blow dry, you have to go closer to it, closer to one another. And if you'd wrap it around closer and pull it up closer. So if somebody said they wanted a bouncy blow dry, that is what you would do. But if somebody said I wanted like a looser, beachier wave, then you make it a bit further apart like that. That's exactly what you do. Okay, just pull it apart so it's more of a less of a curl going through there. I would do that predominantly 90% of the time. I don't really do bouncy curls anymore, Try to stay away from that. Because again, trends move, fashion changes. But to get that really lovely curl, and you can do it with tongs. Some people want it blow dried, but you can still achieve it with tongs. And I suppose tongs generally a little bit easier to use on and more more time efficient, they're a little bit easier to work with. So just took my section down. You feel a bit of texture from that, from the hairspray that I used. Okay, so again, going in all the same direction. Keeping my coil the same distance apart. Oops. Brushing it through with brush there, just to brush that through. Those of you who are into, session hair as such, it's very important that you, I think I've said in previous classes as well, it's, it's very much inspired by salon work. I mean, or you can take inspiration from session and catwalk and trends. And what we do, we water it down for the salon floor as such, so everybody can use it. But that's where a lot of the influences come from. That comes from the catwalk. And, we sort of take inspiration from that. It's what our clients see as well. So it's very important that, what differs you to, the salons around the corner, your competitors around the corner, it's your knowledge, it's your experience, it's what input you give them. I mean, I always sort of think about, like a one-length haircut as such. And how a one-length haircut can be different from street to street. You can see your competitors there as such, right? I mean, what differs you is, first and foremost is customer service. Customer service is sort of very much, people will, customers will always come back where they are, greeted and treated very, very well. So that's first and foremost. Secondly as well, they come in for your knowledge. They don't come in to find out, what did you do at the weekend or where are you going on holidays as such like that. It's very important. They are coming into you for a service and basically they pay a fee for that, right? So it's make sure that what they're paying for is knowledge and experience. So what you need to be knowledgeable in is trends, hair trends, and what's out there, because they see things in magazines that you may don't, and it looks bad if you don't know those things. So it's very important for you to keep up to date with new trends, and always come to them with options. Options is what differs you to the other stylists. So say for instance they came in for a one-length haircut. So you give them options on how to tong the hair and how they finish hair, because finishing of hair is what differs it to the previous cut, I suppose. So it's important that you do advise them in that, because it's I suppose it separates you from the other salons or your competitors as such. It's what regardless. You can build relationships with people, and you believe you know them really well, right? But at the same time, if they are unhappy with their hair or what they are paying for, they will stop coming into you. Because technically speaking, they're coming in for the afters of how they feel for the afters. And if they do not get what they want, or they don't get the knowledge that they're paying for, or the service depreciates it a little bit, they will fail. They would stop coming back into you. So it's so important, even if you do know them really well, to compose yourself for at least 5-10 minutes during the experience and actually concentrate on their hair. Is there anything that we can do differently with you today? Is there anything that you didn't get out of the last haircut or the last color? Is there anything I can change for you? Has your hair color, has your hair type, is your hair, your scalp, is there anything I could advise you on? There's always, I learned in a business seminar there one day, I thought it was amazing. It was actually Mary Porter's, and she always says, ask that question right at the end of the service, where it was, is there anything else I can do for you today? And by asking that, you are ticking all the boxes, and it opens a conversation for whether they would like advice on specific shampoos or specific styling tips or whatever like that. But that just summarizes it nicely. So if there's something that you take away from this course, it's that as well. It's basically, is there anything else I can offer you today? You know, consultation, I'm sure you've heard people say about consultation is the biggest. It is. It's what engages you to your customers, what sort of connects you to the service that you're doing. So I do truly believe that if there's something wrong with the service, it's a breakdown in communication, 90% of the time, 99% of the time. So just tonguing, continue tonguing around. What we will do, I'm going to brush this out so it, sort of merges all in together. That's why I'm going the same direction. If you go different directions with it, it becomes quite a beachy, loose, sort of curly hair, which is completely fine. You can do that way as well. But this look today is one I'm doing, and it's all going to be blended in together. It's actually a look that I did for L'Oreal when they first released this product. So I was put on the super slick look. So that was we did in London. So I just wanted to show this look with you. Move it around a little bit there. Many people have asked me before, how long should you leave the tongs on for? Depending on the thickness of the section. But to cook it nicely and not to overdo it, generally, 8 seconds is the sort of guide, I would say. But if, some thin hair or thin sections, you don't really need to leave it on, 5 seconds, something like that. See the way I moved it down a little bit. So I just moved it down just to stretch out that curl, because as I work through the top, I don't want it really curly, because obviously we're gonna use the gel to do that. So I'm just feeding out that curl. Okay, so that work is done. Now it's over to the glue. Okay, actually before we do that, we're going to brush this out. Okay. I don't want it really sort of curly as such. It's actually just nice, just casual little curl. But it just dresses it up a little bit more. So if you are doing this on one of your customers, it just sort of dresses it up a little bit more, and it makes it a bit more either, you know, evening or red carpet. I mean, this is for, it's for a specific client. You know, you'll know who they are. You know, they're sort of, they wear their hair a little bit different. You know, it's not for everybody this, but I totally understand that. But we're going to make it, you know. And again, you know what? I'm giving you options here to use techniques like this, so you can go into the salon, you know, and hopefully this inspires you to actually want to try something new with that. Sean, could you pass me my comb? Okay. So I'm going from the crown area. You see the way that all merged in? I brush it through. You've seen the way I did that. So for those of you who've never done that curl before, that curl brushed out will only merge together if you tongue the same way. So you have to tongue it the same way, no matter what you do. If you tongue it in different directions, each one, it won't merge in. It just won't do that. It won't give you that effect. So whenever you brush it, I mean, we're just trying to capture that little curl in there. And again, that's just perfect for me. It's not too perfect. That's not what we wanted to achieve today. Okay, so glue. And again, this makes it a bit more, it's, you know, using gel like as a tint. Okay. So you're just putting a bit of gel, just tap it in with the tint brush, and you're going to apply a tint, technically speaking, with the gel. It's predominantly going to be more towards the top of the head. By doing this, it gives you a little bit more of a, like, what are they doing? You know, the customer. It's like, oh, I've never had this done before. It's great, you know. So apply that through. I'm just going to work my way onto the face. Now you'll see this. What happens is, I mean, don't bring it too far down because it will merge in. You'll see what happens with this now. In a second. I don't want to brush it all the way down into the nape. This is just going to be through the top areas, through the root. I think at one stage everybody was getting their hair like this. I was loving it that much. Okay. Okay, so I'm just starting to brush it in, delivering it down. A bit more, you'll start seeing it develop. Okay. You can see what I'm doing there now. So coming back away from the face. Directly on dry hair. And you would have seen catwalks with this being done. Now, it doesn't have to be done as neat as this either. Like, you know, but what I am doing today is I wanted to achieve a specific look for this. Okay, so you brush it through. You comb it through, should I say. So if gel, when applying gel, it's a funny one because it does set quite hard. Obviously it sets quite hard, but to release, like to comb it through, what you need to do is if it starts getting a bit hard on you, you actually put more gel on, breaks it down. Put more gel on, waters it down a bit more. Okay. So I'm actually just going to, sorry there for a second. So by applying it through, I'm just going to part it over to the side. Now this is the last bit, right? So through the top anyway, and then I'm going to do the side there. So I'm working around that way because you have to continue on one side because of time really, and if it's drying, then you've got to be careful. You've got to get it in there. And again, honestly, can I just say, you've got to get in yourself and actually try this, because looking at me today, it's 100% different by doing it yourself. It feels quite tough to do at first. Just get in there, do that. So I'm creating a design, I suppose. I'm creating a little bit of a flick there. You see what I'm doing? I'm bringing it back on the side. So now we're on the home straight. We're just going to bring this back, tint that back. Right, done. I'm just going to come back around the other way. Actually, can I spin you around the other way? That's great. Okay. So we can see what we're doing. So you guys can see. Honestly, you'll hear me say this over and over again, but you know, these classes only become valuable to you if you practice them at home. So you need to practice. It's very important that you actually take this and grab somebody as quickly as you can and practice this on. Because look, I mean, the beauty about these courses, right? So, I mean, what we wanted to do was capture, these sort of classes, but, you can go see demonstrations in academies, which I'd strongly advise you do that still. I mean, there's academies out there, which is, you need to do workshops, and it's very important that. So, I just want to support the fact, because I do a lot of teaching in academies as well. So we do value the fact that you can do, you should go to academies. But this sort of thing, our academy is just an online academy, I suppose, but it's taking inspiration, and you can tap into it weekly, monthly, or do you know what? You come and see our demonstration, and then what you do, you actually practice this at home yourself. And actually you can rewatch these, which is amazing. You rewatch them, and, because you'll always have that inspiration to share. So it's almost like building a gallery of where you can access your own sorts of inspirations weekly. You can see these styles. Look at that, that's amazing, it's amazing. I mean, as they say, you are your clientele, right? I mean, this is kind of a young look, right? It's quite a young look. So you want young people coming into you? You want to change your direction in what you're doing? Try these things, put them out there. People see this work. I mean, how do you build on clientele? I mean, there was David Barnett, one of our guest artists on the platform here. He talked about, building clientele in 90 days. There's loads of ways to do this. I mean, if you haven't seen that class, by the way, just watch this one, because it's an amazing class where he taps into, how to get yourself busier. But to be honest with you, I mean, word of mouth is one of the best ways to get clientele. So good haircuts, good styling, good colors, will bring in more customers for you. Because if somebody's seen this and they sort of went, wow, that was amazing, who did your hair? They're going to recommend you. It doesn't come with a price. You don't pay people to do that. That comes naturally. Human nature tells us that, just they want to advise good places. If you went to a good restaurant, you had really good food, people are going to say it, talk about it. Same with your hair. So, to finish this off nicely, just maybe a little bit more gel. To finish this off nicely, what we do is actually just go over with the other side of the comb. See the way that shines it up? Now that's a technique which just makes it solid. Makes it solid. It's absolutely, comes out so shiny in pictures. I mean, if you're doing this in session, or if you're a hairdresser that loves to take pictures, that just brings out a really nice shine to the hair. So that just gives me a little bit of a curve through those areas there. Beautiful. Lovely. Okay, so what I'm doing is just brushing the rest of the hair out, fine-tuning it. Now you can roll that up by all means as well. You can tuck it under, you can make it, I think it was Prada a couple of years ago where Eugene Solomon did a couple of looks where they just tongued it and brought it underneath, and tucked it in and did that sort of look. I'm going to leave this down because this is what I want to do, okay? But you do have the option to tongue that up. Again, this is the crepage de chignon. Not as if you really need much more hold, but put that over the top, and you'd be surprised whenever that goes hard, you can actually put in, like, you know, serums or oils, and you know, we can put many different things in that, which is actually works out, and it just like shines. It's like a reflection. It's almost like a mirror as such. Okay, so let me just recap what we did. We prepped the hair with a little bit of crepage de chignon, sprayed it through section by section, and brushed it out. So as we worked along, we brushed the hair out continuously. We took sections, small sections, about 1.5 inch sections, and tongued the hair up into, you know, into like more of a relaxed curl as such. It wasn't like really bouncy curl. Curled it all up as I worked through horizontal sections, worked all the way through into recession area, and tongued the hair coming back all the same direction. So it all came back onto the face this side as I worked through to the front. I started from my crown. So if you just tilt your head forward there for me. I started from my crown to the top of the ear, and from the crown to the top of the other ear. I combed the hair, well, section the front part forward and combed the hair back, and I tinted on glue. So it's the hair glue from Techniart, really amazing gel. So I just put it in about 1 inch thick all the way through. I sectioned off like 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch in depth, going, you know, like vertically towards the front of the head, combing it back, and then tinting each section as I worked forward. I used my comb. It's like a cutting comb, this is, that we use on the salon floor. So I used the comb and just combed the hair through. Each section you should really comb it through to take it into the direction, because the glue starts drying up on us. If it dries up too much, you can use a little bit of glue on top of it, right? So it just sort of breaks it down and makes it a bit more pliable for you. So as I worked through to the sides, I came and curved that around into a nice little curve, and that was like my little design I'd done. So you can make your own designs up, by all means, you can do that. For the rest of the hair, I suppose what we did, I did the same on this side as well, worked my way forward and combed it back. To create that nice little curve, just hold your finger, comb the hair one way and deliver it down, and just bring it down. But you always hold your section, so it holds takes the tension off there, because if you pull it down, it's going to pull the rest of it down with it. So just hold the section, take the tension off it, and then deliver it down through the back. Okay, used my bristle nylon brush to brush the hair out into like that soft sort of wave. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed this class. I hope to see you again soon on something else. So if you go on to hairdressinglive.com and see any of our future courses, because we're continuing to book many different stylists across international stylists, to provide you with the best education. So hope to see you soon. If you like what you've seen, leave a comment below and subscribe to our YouTube channel.